Section 3 of My First Summer in the Sierra. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. My First Summer in the Sierra by John Muir. Read by Adrian Pretzelis. Section 3. June 12. A slight sprinkle of rain. Large drops, far apart, falling with heavy pat and plash on leaves and stones and into the mouths of the flowers. Cumuli rising to the eastward. How beautiful their pearly bosses! How well they harmonise with the upswelling rocks beneath them! Mountains of the sky, solid-looking, finely sculptured, their richly variegated topography wonderfully defined. Never before have I seen clouds so substantial-looking in form and texture. Nearly every day toward noon they rise with visible swelling motion, as if new worlds were being created. And how fondly they brood and hover over the gardens and forests with their cooling shadows and showers, keeping every petal and leaf in glad health and heart. One may fancy the clouds themselves are plants, springing up in the sky fields at the call of the sun, growing in beauty until they reach their prime, scattering rain and hail like berries and seeds, then wilting and dying. The mountain live oak, common here and 1,000 feet or so higher, is like the live oak of Florida, not only in general appearance, foliage, bark, and wide-branching habit, but in its tough, knotty, unwedgeable wood. Standing alone with plenty of elbow room, the largest trees are about 7 to 8 feet in diameter near the ground, 60 feet high, and as wide or wider across the head. The leaves are small and undivided, mostly without teeth or wavy edging, though on young shoots some are sharply serrated, both kinds being found on the same tree. The cups of the medium-sized acorns are shallow, thick-walled, and covered with a golden dust of minute hairs. Some of the trees have hardly any main trunk, dividing near the ground into large wide-spreading limbs, and these, dividing again and again, terminate in long drooping cord-like branchlets, many of which reach nearly to the ground, while a dense canopy of short, shining, leafy branchlets form a round head which looks something like a cumulus cloud when the sunshine is pouring over it. A marked plant is the bush poppy, Dendromicon rigidum, found on the hot hillsides near camp, the only woody member of the order I have yet met in all my walks. Its flowers are bright orange-yellow, an inch or 2 inches wide, fruit pods 3 or 4 inches long, slender and curving. Height of bushes about 4 feet, made up of many slim, straight branches radiating from the root. A companion of the manzanita and other sun-loving chaparral scrubs. June 13. Another glorious Sierra day, in which one seems to be dissolved and absorbed and sent pulsing onward, we know not where. Life seems neither long nor short, and we take no more heed to save time or make haste than do the trees and stars. This is true freedom, a good practical sort of immortality. Yonder rises another white skyland. How sharply the yellow pine spires and the palm-like crowns of the sugar pines are outlined on its smooth white domes. And hark! The grand thunder billows, booming, rolling from ridge to ridge, followed by the faithful shower. A good many herbaceous plants come thus far up the mountains from the plains, and are now in flower 2 months later than their lowland relatives. Saw a few columbines today. Most of the ferns are in their prime. Rock ferns on the sunny hillsides, chilanthes, pilea, pymnogram, woodwardia, aspidium, woodsia along the stream banks, and the common Pteris aquilina on sandy flats. This last, however common,
is here making shows of strong, exuberant, abounding beauty to set the botanist wild with admiration. I measured some scarce full grown that are more than 7 feet high. Though the commonest and most widely distributed of all the ferns, I might almost say that I never saw it before. The broad-shouldered fronds, held high on smooth stout stalks, growing close together, overleaning and overlapping, make a complete ceiling, beneath which one may walk erect over several acres without being seen, as if beneath a roof. And how soft and lovely the light streaming through this living ceiling, revealing the arching, branching ribs and veins of the fronds, as the framework of countless panes of pale green and yellow plant glass, nicely fitted together. A fairyland created out of the commonest fern stuff. The smaller animals wander about as if in a tropical forest. I saw the entire flock of sheep vanish at one side of a patch and reappear 100 yards further on at the other, their progress betrayed only by the jerking and trembling of the fronds. And, strange to say, very few of the stout woody stalks were broken. I sat a long time beneath the tallest fronds, and never enjoyed anything in the way of a bower of wild leaves more strangely impressive. Only spread a fern frond over a man's head, and worldly cares are cast out, and freedom and beauty and peace come in. The wavering of a pine tree on the top of a mountain, a magic wand in nature's hand. Every devout mountaineer knows its power. But the marvellous beauty value of what the Scotch call a bracken in a still dell, what poet has sung of this? It would seem impossible that any one, however encrusted with care, could escape the godful influence of these sacred fern forests. Yet this very day I saw a shepherd pass through one of the finest of them without betraying more feeling than his sheep. "What do you think of these grand ferns?" I asked. "They're only damn big breaks," he replied. Lizards of every temper, style and colour dwell here, seemingly as happy and companionable as the birds and squirrels. Lowly, gentle fellow mortals, enjoying God's sunshine, and doing the best they can in getting a living. I like to watch them at their work and play. They bear acquaintance well, and one likes them the better the longer one looks into their beautiful innocent eyes. They are easily tamed, and one soon learns to love them as they dart about on the hot rocks. Swift as dragonflies, the eye can hardly follow them, but they never make long sustained runs, usually only about 10 or 12 feet, then a sudden stop, and as sudden a start again, going all their journeys by quick jerking impulses. These many stops I find are necessary as rests, for they are short-winded, and when pursued steadily are soon out of breath, pant pitifully, and are easily caught. Their bodies are more than half tail, but these tails are well managed, and never heavily dragged or curved up as if hard to carry. On the contrary, they seem to follow the body lightly of their own will. Some are coloured like the sky, bright as bluebirds, others grey like the lichened rocks on which they hunt and bask. Even the horned toad of the plains is a mild, harmless creature, and so are the snake-like species, which glide in curves with true snake motion, while their small, undeveloped limbs drag as useless appendages. One specimen, 14 inches long, which I observed closely, made no use whatever of its tender sprouting limbs, but glided with all the soft sly ease and grace of a snake. Here comes a little grey dusty fellow, who seems to know and trust me, running about my feet and looking up cunningly into my face. Carlo is watching, makes a quick pounce on him, for the fun of the thing I suppose, but Liz has shot away from his paws like an arrow, and is safe in the recesses of a clump of chaparral. Gentle saurians, dragons, descendants of an ancient and mighty race, heaven bless you all, and make your virtues known. for few of us know as yet that scales